Topical. I'm Strange Wang. This is my dear friend Stephanie, and we're doing something different on the channel today. So the first Sunday of every month, we go do the show that you're watching now. You can read the title. It's called Politically Incorrect. So me and Stephanie, we grew up very, very different, and but sometimes I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Like today, I am playing devil's advocate.
We need to establish that so that we can still remain friends.
Yes.
So.
Today, we're talking about the Predator. First thing... the first thing we will be...
Quit drinking bubbly shit.
Well, it's a rock. The first thing we'll be getting into... This is a Gucci corduroy jacket, by the way.
It's beautiful. You look great.
The first thing we will be talking about, the Olivia Munn situation. In the Predator film, she had a scene with an actual predator. He tried to have sex with his 14-year-old relative, and there's text messages about it. He went to jail. He did his time. Again, I will be playing devil's advocate. Topical does not support predators unless they have vagina mouths, like the Predator. So, CGI that in. I'm gonna CGI it in. It's gonna look great. So Olivia Munn, before I went to TIFF, which is Toronto International Film Festival, she found out from a source that the guy she had a scene with, that his whole entire scene was him hitting on her in the dog park.
Yes.
And he goes and talks to her about her dog, and like she shows her like scientific saying like this is what kind of dog it is, you're wrong, and really puts the guy in his place. Like he tries, and
she makes a pass, and she's like, nah.
She puts him in his place, and then he says like a little sexual joke, but he's being put in his place. She said she didn't like that after she found out he was a predator, and asked for it to be removed. Yeah. Do you think that's right?
I mean, so in all fairness, I don't, like, I agree with what she did, but, like, if I was in a producer situation, I'm honestly not sure what I would do.
Because?
It would depend on, like, what her contract said, like, whether or not I could even...
Well, I didn't like her in the film, not because she's a woman or none of that stuff. Half of that movie...
Wait, why do you feel the need to even say that?
Because the show's called Politically Incorrect. And I don't like a douche.
Yeah, but you liked me.
The whole, like, half the film is terribly cast. So...
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, I'm not mad that I saw it, but I saw it.
Okay.
It's not cast well at all. Like, I don't believe her one bit that she's doing what she's doing. And the science part, kind of the same thing. So it's like, she's not good for the role.
Did she have sex, like, was there a sex scene with her and him?
No, but she, like...
It's literally just that one scene in the park.
Yeah, like, she does a split on the predator's dick. Like, that's the only sex scene in the movie. And,
fake news.
Okay, easy, Trump. The show's called Politically Incorrect.
Speaking of...
Well...
So, the guy... Shane Black's friend. Yeah. He wants to get, like, he did some soap operas. He's trying to get in movies. He was in Iron Man 3 and The Nice Guys, 2 Shane Black films. He was trying to help out a friend. Is it wrong, even though he was convicted as a devil's advocate, is it wrong, since he was convicted as a predator and did his time and everything, is it wrong for him to get a job? Like, why can't the motherfucker work?
No, I don't think it's wrong to get a job. So, like, you made a point before we started filming about how, like, there weren't, like, he didn't disclose it because, like, there weren't children in the film or anything like that. And, like, right. And I get that, but I also, like, do appreciate the fact, especially in the climate that we're in today, that whenever she addressed this concern, how it was handled the way it was. And then I was just looking through a couple articles, and, like, a lot of her, like, co-stars and fellow people, like, were like, yeah, that was, like, a good call, and, like,
her co-stars didn't say anything about it except for Sterling K. Brown, because none of them would join her on stage for TIFF.
Really?
With the interview.
Yeah.
But I agree with them. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you why.
You agree with them?
Yeah.
Or who's them?
The cast, the rest of the cast.
So you think that it should have
If I'm in a movie, I want it to make money.
Yeah.
Bottom line. Yeah. This is putting negative press on the film. Critics, you cannot say you got to keep this out of your mind when you see the movie. Because that's going to be in their mind, like, oh, there's a rapist in the movie, a pedophile.
Yeah.
And, like, everyone was okay with it. Like, people, I guarantee you, at least one person went in with saying, like, this is going to be, like, I'm going to shit on this movie for what they did.
But
because it already had bad press going into it because Fox, they love fucking with the films. Mm-hmm. So, Shane Black already said, like, Fox, they had too much input into the film, and it was a struggle making it. And reshoots, and usually reshoots mean bad. Like, the film's not going to be
right
the tier they want it to be. So, do you think they needed more bad press? Or she got her way, keep quiet about it, go on with your life?
Here's my thing, is the fact that you're, like, describing it as bad press is, like, where I think that, like, we're disagreeing. Because I don't think it's bad press for somebody to stand up for something like that, and then people, like, especially, like, in the production, to respond in such a positive way. Like, I don't think that should be seen as bad press.
But are you going to go see the movie now?
I honestly wasn't interested in seeing it at all until we started talking about this, and now I'm more interested in seeing it.
Are you saying it's bad press that he was a sex offender, or it's bad press that, like, she made a big deal out of it?
Well, he's a sex offender, but, like, she blew the story up.
Okay.
And everything.
How does she blow it up?
Because, like she goes... Yeah, she went public and was like, my cast members... And, like, all she had to do was, like, my point of view. If I had a problem with it, I get my way. Mm-hmm. I'm happy. I'm going about my business. After the film comes out on Blu-ray or something, and do an interview like, hey, this is my story.
Yeah.
The movie made $1 million now. I got a bigger check. Because it made more money, whatever the case may be. But, like, she made her co-stars to be out. That I personally, like, you could have left them out of it completely. Because they're trying to stay as far away from this as possible. Right. Because they have careers, they have families. Shane Black has a family. He has a career. Like, when you say, I'm not getting any support from my director, the producers, Fox, my cast members, it makes them look worse. When I feel like, if they're trying to mind their own business, that leave them out of it.
But look at what minding your own business is doing to our society.
I understand that.
Like, I think there's something to be said about putting some heat under people who are in positions of power.
But when you get your way, like, should you... What I'm saying is, like, blowing it up.
But getting your way doesn't fix the process of what happened.
Well, there's a time and a place. Do you think that was the right time and place?
I honestly disagree with it. There's a time and place, because I think, like, time and place is, like, here and now.
Yeah, but he already did his time. He went to jail. He did his time. He's a convicted felon. He served his time. He's trying to get his life back on track.
Right.
You don't believe in second chances?
I believe in second chances, but I also believe in, like, being very open. Like, it sort of sounds... You said that he's worked with the director before, right?
Yeah, they're friends.
So, like, the director obviously knew.
Yeah.
And that was kept from the cast. So that's something that's...
Well, legally, he doesn't have to say anything.
Right, he doesn't have to say anything.
Why should he say anything?
You don't think that that type of information is important?
No. It's art.
Devil's advocate, right? Right?
Well, at this part, right? No. Like, when it comes to art and film, like... People won't watch Chinatown because Roman Polanski scandal. Me, on the other hand, phenomenal picture. I'm not into film noirs, but for a film noir, is, I would say, the best one. And you have to separate art from the people.
But you don't separate people from safety.
He's not hurting anyone. Who's he hurting in that scene?
Like, people, the reason that people are put on a sex offenders list is so that other people can choose and be aware.
So, like, if he had said at the, like first cast meeting ever, or, like, even if Shane Black, like, before that guy was even at a meeting, said, hey, this guy's a friend of mine, this is what happened, he knows that I'm telling you about this, here it is. is this a different story?
Yeah, 100%. Because one of the things that you're saying is like, hey, these people really wanted to like stay out of it and like not be involved and stuff. But like, the director wrote the narrative that they were being a part of and didn't let them in on it.
Well, it's one scene.
No, like, he wrote the narrative about them being like, what if all of this came out after the film was done, after people like, what if it like went really, really well? Who knows? Like, and all this comes out. Now this whole cast is connected to this narrative that they had no idea that they were connected to.
It's not going to hinder their careers. And that's what they're in Hollywood to do. They're there to make movies. They made their movie. If it does good, it does good. If it does bad, it's bad. It shouldn't matter. Devil's advocate. Because, like, if he murdered a guy, like, I'm more okay seeing actors that murdered people in real life. Mm-hmm. Like, I love Tim Allen. He, like, killed a guy in a coke deal in, like, the 70s. Like,
allegedly.
I kind of like him more, honestly, for that. But
that's such a you thing.
But it doesn't take away how much I love Home Improvement and see him interacting with the 3 kids on there. Like, oh, dude, this dude's a murderer. You know what I'm saying? It's not taking away that.
Right. I just really believe in, like, people's individual freedoms for, like, what they're connected to and what they're associated with. And that can only come from, like, having information.
But you're in a big cast. I mean, like, you're not going to please everyone. And, like, you can't control people's feelings.
Right. But, like, this isn't something like, oh my god, there's this guy who, like, does drugs in our cast and I don't want to be associated. Like, this is not on that same level, especially in the, like, climate and the world that we're living in today when we're looking at, you know...
Yeah, but the scene has him in a bad light. Like, she's putting him in his place.
But you're changing, like, he's doing his job there. That shouldn't matter. Well, how the scene makes him look. He's just doing his job.
Again, devil's advocate. He's doing his job.
Right.
Now, are you... Because I kind of feel like you're saying about that being a actor is a more glorious job. In a sense, like, he doesn't really deserve it.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
So, like, he shouldn't get any more acting roles? Or
no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that people around him should have the information that they need to choose, not whether or not to sort of stonewall him, but to choose whether or not they want to engage in that.
It's like, they're going to, like, oh, this dude's a pedophile. Like, they're trying to avoid that Shane Black, I believe. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think, paraphrasing, but I'm pretty sure he said, I was throwing him a bone.
Yeah.
So, like... What?
Ooh, I think throwing bones was that guy's problem in the first place.
Aww.
Good thing we got a camera on you. Where's that? Yeah, and then he came back out and was like, I didn't know it was to that extent.
Yeah, but, like, that's part of what I'm saying is, like, when things are in the light and when everything is discussed and when information is shared, then... First of all, it makes it so people can't backpedal, like what he's doing. Second of all, it makes it so that people can make informed decisions about their involvement. And third of all, it makes it so that, like, people don't have to come out later and throw people under the bus. Like, it can be, hey, yeah, we all had this information. This is something that we chose.
Yeah, but, so, going to the Shane Black thing, like, that guy, he probably didn't care. Like, him backpedaling... Mm-hmm. I don't know, because, like, in Predator, one of the lines from it is he's trying to pass around dip, and that no one wants to dip, and he's like, you're all a bunch of slapjaw faggots around here. This thing make you into a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. And, like, Shane Black wrote the Predator.
Yeah.
Predator, not the Predator. I think
right.
he wrote that too. But then, even in 2016 in Nice Guys, a kid goes around asking Ryan Gosling, you want to see my dick? Mm-hmm. It's big. That's a line in the movie. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know the director and how he works,
right?
Anyways, and, like, I feel like you know the content that's going to be in the film. You read the script. You know that there's going to be some sleazy humor in there. There's going to be some shaky lines, which we'll get into a joke later about that. But, like, when you get into this, like, with a Shane Black script, I feel like you should already, like, brace yourself for the script alone.
Okay,
you know?
So I'm gonna I want to separate like the movie and like the working experience, right?
Oh, so like real life.
Yeah, essentially.
From the movie.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
he talks about real life.
So you have the movie.
I'm the interviewer. What are you doing?
Never
Just
mind.
kidding.
Jeez. Okay, but in real life, you're looking. You're looking
what
at
time?
You're looking at a cast of.
Cuffs.
Just let me know when you're ready.
Hey, we're on podcast format for most of this, so.
All right.
I'm trying to get that long view average, the minutes up.
Okay, guys. All right, so. Okay, no. In all seriousness, if you separate the real life experience of working in a cast or on a movie, and you're looking at women being a part of that cast, right? And you're looking at the statistic of at least, and this is like a very modest estimate, of 1 in 4 women having an experience of sexual assault in their lifetime. You're looking at that as if I was in a cast and I heard later that there was a cast member who had been convicted and served time, not just rumors, not like hush-hush or speculation, but like convicted and served time and was in that cast, and I was not aware of that, that would affect how safe I felt at work.
Okay. So, since we're talking about real life, so again, devil's advocate, I do not approve of any sexual statutory raping young hoes, even though you was dating.
Okay, please stop, Dylan.
I don't approve.
And you stop. Everybody stop!
No dicky reference. Jeez.
Please watch our video.
Yeah. Oh. Like, I don't approve of none of that. Like, again, devil's advocate, I'm trying to make an interesting video, because some people out there are ignorant, like, and they're citing, because she's gotten a lot of backlash for it.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought it was a good video topic.
I mean, look at what's happening with like the Senate.
So
right now,
my point of view is I don't really care, because it doesn't affect me. Like, I was raised the hey, if it doesn't affect you and don't care, stay in your lane, mind your business, focus on yourself, because the only way you'll get better in life is if you focus on yourself and do better. Don't worry about what's around you. So honestly, I don't really care.
Can we do an entire video just like dissecting that sometime?
Well, if there's a movie on it.
I have so many things that I want to say right now, but like they're so off topic.
But so devil's advocate again.
Okay.
You're riding to work.
Are you about to make me mad?
I don't know. I can't control your feelings.
Oh, that's so healthy.
You're riding.
Yeah, nice.
You're riding to work.
On
a bus. And the guy next to you is a sexual predator. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have to tell you that.
Right.
But no harm, no foul, because you didn't know.
No.
Today, Junior.
No, what you're describing right now is literally the experience that women, whether or not they have been sexually assaulted or had any sexual abuse in their past, what you described is literally what we go through. Because if I go and I sit in public transportation, I do think about that. And I do wonder about that.
Well, see, I'm not a woman.
Right.
So, see, I want more of that.
Okay. So the experience of you as a guy living here in the South, you don't have the experience that a lot of women have as far as safety and stuff go. So, like, if I go downtown, if I'm by myself, my keys are in my hand and I'm ready to stab someone, like, at any moment. You know what I mean? Like, I don't wear my hair in a ponytail when I'm out walking by myself or working out by myself, because I know it's easier for guys to grab. Like, there are things that women do daily because we do think about that, and because we don't know who. And we also know that, like, you know, you're seeing all these statistics, and I need to look them up for myself, but the amount of rape allegations that are actually being followed through in the court system and the amount of offenders that are actually being punished is such a low number in our country today. And so we, you know, as women, there's so many times that I do, like, I'll go to a party or I'll go out with friends or anything, and if guys are talking to me or anything like that, I do look around and I do wonder how many of you have, like, date raped somebody that I might even know. You know what I mean? So that is something that we think about. And so, like, saying that, like, you go and you sit on a bus and you might sit next to somebody who's sexually assaulted someone before and you wouldn't even know. No, but we wonder all the time.
That's a great point.
And so the idea that women can go to work and work with somebody and have that wondering in the back of our mind all the time, and then have that sort of fear become true and become reality. Like, that is why I think that how she handled it was right.
Okay. This is going to be the last question for the video format, and then, like, the rest of the conversation will be on the podcast. But, so, if I can think of what I was about to say. So the predator, he has the mouth and yeah, well, his mouth does look like a vagina.
So what do you think about that? So like everything you just said about like women having to think about things like that.
Like, we carry our drinks and hold them while we pee. Like, you know what smart. I mean? Like,
that's fucking smart. So like, but you think that's all right? I guess this is such like a. Who, like, none of us clearly know the right answer, but for the sake of conversation, like, do you think that she made the stand she did because she felt those things? Because she felt that lack of safety? Or, like, I mean, I don't know how well you know her. Like,
as a personal friend.
Well, like, I mean,
well,
Olivia Munn has, like,
spoken out about.
Yeah.
She has spoken about other things, and she also has a history of, like, people not really enjoying working with her.
Yeah.
So, like,
and she's getting a lot of exposure off of this.
And also a history of breaking up the Rogers family.
Who?
She dated Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
And then, like, people think that he's the reason that, like, him and Jordan Rodgers don't talk.
Gotcha.
But they're not together anymore. So, like, yeah, like...
You think it's a publicity stunt for her part, blowing it up to get more eyes on her? Because Fox, I will guarantee you, if she ever stars in another Fox movie, I'll pay you $100. There's no way.
So, I like hate. Like, I don't. Yeah, I hate this. I don't know her or her intentions or anything, but I hate that the fact that question even exists.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I hate that that's even a question.
Yeah.
Because so many women, especially, like, this freaking week, you know, you have two women coming forward in a very public way making, you know, making allegations about, like, Kavanaugh and stuff like that. Like, you see
about who?
Sean Kavanaugh. We don't expect you to know about it. Politics.
He's being nominated. He's being nominated for the Supreme Court right now.
You don't know anything about it is a little concerning. But I know you well enough to not expect you to know anything.
Two women have come forward within the past. Well, the first one was like 2 weeks ago, and the second one was a couple of days ago, 2 or 3 days ago.
Right.
Coming forward with sexual. Saying like that there was some sexual misconduct, and he literally was like pulled out a calendar and was like, well, I didn't have this party in 1982, so that didn't happen. And everyone's like, oh, okay, cool, we're gonna follow your calendar from 1982, got it. Like, and then they're sort of going back and saying that this is a publicity stunt and all this stuff, and it makes me so mad that the fact that people question whether women would ever want attention on them after a sexual assault or anything like that even comes into play in these conversations. And so, like, with her, like, obviously there wasn't a sexual assault that she's specifically talking about and what that she's involved with, but I hate that that's even, like...
So, I have the question that's more on topic of this, because I remember my other question. You don't follow hip-hop at all.
No.
So, all these women came out and said Nelly gave them AIDS, and it was all false. And then all these people come out and say... Drake knocked me up. All false. Had no babies. And then when...
Question, what were those rape allegations?
No, but like women do dirty stuff to get attention and money.
Like people do dirty stuff.
Yeah, okay. I mean, everyone.
Like, even talking about Kevin Spacey twisting things the way that he
yeah. So it's like, I agree with you 100%. Anytime that anyone comes forward and says like this... like rape or sexual misconduct, like that needs to be taken 100% seriously.
Yeah.
And also, some people suck and are shitty.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Well, can I point out?
I'll finish the question.
Okay, fair.
So when Drake found out, a woman came out and was like, "Hey, this is your kid," and it really was his kid. It was a big deal. Like, people find out that wasn't supposed to find out. There's diss tracks about him and like all this other stuff, and it was honestly, it was blown away by portion. The dude has a kid. He should be his fucking business. Like,
yeah.
So because people do this, and like, since he's a celebrity, he hid it because it's probably not true. He thinks. Same thing with this, like, because like a lot of people saying she's hard to work with, and like she's not have like I don't think she has one. She has 2 movies over critically good movies on Rotten Tomatoes, and the third one is Iron Man 2, and that one should not have a fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's like she's not in a lot of starring roles, and most of her movies bomb. Not her fault, but the movie she's in.
That doesn't make what she's saying any less valid.
But do you think, in her mind, like, devil's advocate, again, that in her mind she might get a little clout attention off of this?
I have no idea what.
Like, do you think it could come that way? Because
I think that there are people who think the way you're devil's advocating for.
Well, like that's what
that might think that. But I also think that they are probably the type of people who are like, oh, well, girls like say that they're sexually assaulted all the time, and that's not true. Which is actually not. That's absolutely not true. And a lot of what like people are finding is that when it does come out that there was a false rape allegation, it's often associated with age. So it's often at a much younger age, and it's often when there's been somebody who's been caught doing something that they're not supposed to be doing. And so that's something that you're going to see, and even then it's so extremely rare, but that's something that you might see, like somebody getting caught having sex and then saying that it was forced, but like that is so extremely rare even then. And so like I hate that I don't even like this conversation.
That's why I always screenshotted
my... to be clear, she didn't claim that, like,
right.
This isn't really that situation.
That's why I always screenshot my Tinder hookups. You gotta have evidence. But I have a file on my old computer. It's like 40. It's crazy. But
well, so like just because you matched on Tinder does not like prove that's
acting like date rape isn't.
It was a joke. Jesus fucking Christ.
Passion of the Christ.
But so leading back to the question I forgot, I don't remember. If she came out and was like, I don't want to work with this guy because I know he's a sexual offender, before the filming was done, do you think it would have, the studio would be like, well, we hired him, you know about it, like, would it be that big of a deal? Would she want to work with him still? Because like at that point, like, you know he's a sexual offender, like, is it really that big of a deal since you know? Because like her thing is she didn't know. That's what she's like. That's the nail in the coffin. Okay. She didn't know. So like, devil's advocate, if you know, like, are you okay with it? That you know, have your guard up around this guy? Does it make you feel safer? Thoughts?
That's a really good question. I probably stay more on like that's always going to be a big deal for me. I do believe in grace, and I do believe in, like, forgiveness, but I also believe in, like, precaution. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. Like, I can't, like, read into her intention as far as, like, what she would do, but, like, in my viewpoint, if I had that information ahead of time, then I could look out and sort of do my own thoughts as far as, like, okay, is this something that I'm going to be okay being public in a year? Is this something that, like, I am going to be proud of working with? Is this something that I'm going to, like, feel like I have to justify or defend? And is that worth it to me? And there might be even a level of, like, do I want to get ahead of this a little bit? Which, because, like, I don't think there's anything wrong if somebody is working with a sexual offender and wants to do that and is comfortable with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with them also getting out ahead and sort of saying, like, this is a choice I'm making, it's something that I'm aware of, and sort of helping run that narrative so that it doesn't get carried away. So I feel like I said, like, earlier, I feel like if there was information provided ahead of time, people could have made those decisions, and this probably wouldn't, like, when I was reading about it earlier, it just looks sloppy, like, how everything came out, and it probably could have come out, if it needed to, in a much more cohesive and, like, neat way.
I totally agree. And about the neat way, And, like, sexual offenders are fucking losers and, like, everything we talked about. Last question. I forgot. Fuck my life.
Good Lord.
Yeah, this interview thing's not good at all.
You need to start writing them down and letting me hold them.
Yeah, but then they wasn't good.
You can write them on your chest and I'll read them off to you.
But then what?
Yeah, but the last one wasn't good. We did the test one. Reading them it was terrible.
No. Like, literally, like, I could have just held it up for you to read and you would have known what your question was.
This is a learning process, and this is going to get better with age.
This is
like cheese
and wine,
but mostly cheese.
No, mostly wine.
Mostly cheese.
I want some wine.
I want cheese.
Or MILFs. This is Cinetopical's politically incorrect.